Hey buddy, it's Peter. I am here with Rob Davis. Rob is the general manager of Powersports here at Jim Gilbert's Wheels and Deals, Jim Gilbert's Powersports, and you asked for a video on what it's like to buy a motorcycle, like what you need to know, what's the process from start to finish, and of course, I just bought this from here, from Wheels and Deals. So this video is going to tell you step by step what you need to know to buy a motorcycle, all the steps and processes, but it's also going to kind of show off you guys, because you guys are the #1 volume Kawasaki dealer in the country, and it's also part of Canada's Huggable car dealer. So tell me about what that is, because I have my own views, but what's all that about?
Mostly the biggest thing about the whole picture is we are different here at Jim Gilbert's. We are a family business. We feel like every day is important to you just as much as it is to us. When you come into our dealership, our vehicles starts right from the 200% above industry standard inspections to the clean and polished vehicles and shiny, waxy cars, I guess. And then in the power sports part of things, we are family again. We like to have fun. We have small children. We have all kinds of people that travel with us. So the motto of it all is to have fun with your family, doing the things that you love on Kawasaki for us. So we just want you to feel the same.
Yeah, and I mean, like the one thing you notice here, like I walked in here before I'd ever been here, and like when they say they're family, there's a lot of people related. They treat everybody like family, but they treat customers like family. So it's just a very comfortable environment. So you're gonna see me bring out things in this video that this dealer does that I hope your dealer does if you're not anywhere near here. But if you're anywhere near here, this is what you can expect coming here. So first of all, if we're looking at a bike, again, I bought this one. Like everybody, the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna hop online, and maybe you don't know what kind of bike to buy. A lot of bikes kind of look similar, but they can be different classes. So the first thing you should do is hop online, research, figure out what you're gonna do, what you're interested in, have a sense of the general cost, have a sense of your budget, obviously, what that involves. And we're gonna talk about the cost specific to actually buying the bike. But one of the things I do here is you can subscribe to this channel. It has that background. There's lots of pictures of me doing this by a bike. You can find those. And my job is to help you understand the basics. And everybody who does a video online is going to have certain biases, and I try to point those out. I'm not a huge cruiser guy, but I will know them inside and out and give you all the information you need. And you know, there's other times where I will be biased towards certain bikes, and I'll tell you right up front, I really like this bike. But the idea of my videos is just that you can ask questions in the comment, and if you subscribe, I'll make sure I get back to you both in the comments, and because you guys let me have full access to the vehicles here, I can make more and more and more videos to make sure you get all the answers you could possibly want online, so that when you're ready to come into the dealership, you're equipped to do that. So here we have a massive showroom. This is just the filming area. We're gonna head over to the showroom. But when you first walk in the dealership, let's talk about that. Let's go over to the big showroom. How big is the showroom here, roughly?
We are just under 20,000 feet of fun, indoor heated showroom, so you can actually have a coffee or a nice bottle of cold water and we can tour.
And just so you know, we're not filming in peak motorcycle season right now. It's February in 2023, and everything you see here is just what's here in February. The season hasn't even begun yet, so this is an incredible place. Let's go to the showroom and take a look, and we'll talk about what happens when you walk in. So here we are in the main showroom of the dealership, and this is like, we're only showing you maybe a third or half at most of the main showroom. There's also a ton of space down the hallway, around the corner where we were. There's tons and tons of space. But when you walk into a motorcycle dealership, first of all, you should know a few things. Don't go sit on a bike. There will be someone who greets you, and a lot of times we have them packed pretty close together here. This is, again, only February, so we'll have more and more and more in here. But there'll still be somebody to greet you. What happens here at Wheels and Deals when they walk in?
Well, actually, there's a lot of things that happen very quickly because we're trying to understand. We have so many motorcycles and so many styles, so many colors, so many models, that the most important thing is to introduce ourselves to you, so that you understand who we are, what we're doing here, and what our role is here at the dealership. Firstly, we're going to ask you some questions. What type of riding? What type of, are you a group rider? Do you like to do touring? Are you kind of get a feel of which category of motorcycle we're going to show you. Of course, we're going to show you everything in the showroom. However, we're also going to narrow it down so that we can get an understanding of you, the customer, what it is your history is, Are you a new rider? Are you a seasoned rider? Is this your first bike? Is this your 21st bike?
And one of the things that I find here too is when you see people move from the online environment to the actual in-bike environment, is you may find that someone like Rob has a lot of experience to offer you that maybe you weren't thinking about when you're online. So especially if it's your first motorcycle, he may be able to, or the salesperson may be able to direct you. So sometimes people feel like, oh, they're turning me from the bike I want, but there's realities to certain things. Like I was looking at the Ninja 1000 and the Z950. I like them both equally. The Ninja 1000 is in a different insurance class. So that's a cost that's associated with it. Now, that's not the only reason that I bought one over another, but those kinds of discussions, again, someone with some experience is going to be able to help guide you towards what you're interested in, and the best way to do that is to understand who you are. So I think we're really good at that. Now, one thing I always know is that once you come in here, I think it's important to swing a leg over the bikes that you're interested in, because sometimes for me, you know, sitting on a Versus 650, which is a bike that I used to own, isn't for everybody. It's a taller bike, and sometimes somebody can get on the Ninja 650 and find that it's not crouched over like they think the ZX6R is, and the 650 could be more comfortable with a little lower seat height. There's a lot of options with similar engines, similar styles. So one of the things they'll do is they'll help you just hop on a bike, sit on it, see if it's something that's comfortable for you.
Absolutely.
So at that point, once you've narrowed things down, to me, it's really important that you understand what you're looking at. Even if you're not ready to buy, to me, a professional salesperson should be able to get you through their office and talk about the price, because like every dealer, this bike here says $10,299. Can I buy it for $10,299 and walk out with it today?
I'd love to say yes. However, there's a few other things that we have to talk about.
So let's go to the office and we'll tell you what it involves and the cost involved in buying a motorcycle like this one. All right, so here we are in Rob's office now. For a lot of people, like that step from the showroom to the office can be very intimidating. And if you're feeling intimidated at your dealer, you're probably in the wrong dealer. This is not a really intimidating process. It's just a matter of helping you know what it takes to buy, for instance, that motorcycle we just talked about. So we saw the price tag on the sticker. That usually matches the price tag on the website, but that's not the whole story. So tell me about the whole story of what the price is if I'm going to buy this and leave with it.
Okay, so basically there are a few extra surcharges that are included in a purchase of a Powersport or a car or anything like that. There have been various things or people that have been involved in this whole process, right from the OEM to the freight truck to driving down the road to getting it to here, to us receiving it, uncrating the package, putting it together in a pre-delivery inspection, putting the unit together, getting those things together. So you're going to have those surcharges, which would be freight and PDI.
And I should mention too, like when you see something like a motorcycle or a Powersport come, it doesn't come like a truck driving off or like a car driving off that truck. These things come in boxes. Like I saw a motorcycle the other day, the wheel's not on. Like there's real people involved and stuff like that. There's real expenses to the dealers. So this isn't something like, oh, that's a nothing cost. It's legit. There's stuff going on there.
Right. So there are those a couple small charges there that are incorporated with a purchase. So basically, yes, you're going to have some small fees, but at the same time, we are standard across the board. All dealerships have those fees.
Now, one of the things I always ask, and of course you guys always ask, is, you know, what kind of discount can I get? How can I get a deal? And it's not always about the discount. I think it's people want to understand that they're getting a deal. And for me, I'm different. I don't need to know that I'm getting a deal, although I do want to get a deal. I want to make sure that the guy that came in 2 days later than me, that might be a better talker than me or something, that he didn't get a better deal. So how do I make sure that like I don't have to have a whole bunch of skills to make sure I'm getting a deal? So let's first of all talk, I think it's fair to say, there's not a lot of margin in a lot of this stuff. So if you're expecting some dealer, you know, to just give you $5,000 off, that is just not going to happen. But you guys do a lot of things that really add value. And to me, this is really a selling thing for me. I had no idea how much value I could get from you guys. Right. So tell me about what you guys do that adds value and gives a good deal.
So again, like I said at the very beginning of this, we are different. There are things that we do that do make your experience with us different. And when you say, come on in and we want a deal and I want a deal. Okay, so we have already taken these things into consideration, and we've come up with some good understandings that help you realize that you are getting a good deal when you're purchasing from Jim Gilbert's. Some of the things could be your first service. So your complete first service is free, no charge, whether it's an ATV, motorcycle, or side-by-side. There is a thorough check over that we do alongside of your fluids that are all changed. So that is anywhere from a $250 to $375 value.
And I should point out too, that first service, like again, we're talking about the motorcycle I bought, for instance. That first service is a really important one. They do the oil change after that 1,000-kilometer break-in time, so that's important. But also checking everything out once it's actually gone down the road. It's come from the factory. You've put 1,000 kilometers or so on the bike. It's a really important service to have done at the dealer. Not all dealers are going to give you that service. Right. That's a big, big value to have it done professionally by people who know what to look for.
So moving on, I guess you're going to receive special discounts that are applied to you personally for the length of your ownership and for an extended period of time. So for example, you will receive 10% off of MSRP of any accessory or part that you purchase today or anywheres down the road. So you do get a good discount on parts, and as well we do give a discounted labor rate for customers who purchased from Jim Gilbert.
So that's a big deal, because especially if you're buying like a new motorcycle, you don't always know what accessories and parts to get. Like the Versys X300, I just did a video on it, and like it has side bags that are optional. Maybe if it's your first motorcycle, you don't want to put those on, but you don't have to buy them up front. I think it makes sense to leave that bike with it, but you can buy them up front or you can buy them later. You're still going to get a discount on it, and that's a big deal.
Yep. So we'll touch on that. Your full tank of fuel. So every unit that leaves here, used or new, whether it be a car, truck, power sport, or any one of the products that leave here, even if it's an e-bike, the battery will be full. So nonetheless, yes, you do receive a full tank of fuel, and any of the products that you're going to receive, the clock is going to be correct, so you're going to even know what time it is when you leave here.
Yeah, it's just the thoroughness that you guys give and the peace of mind, and that matters. So the other thing I want to talk about is sometimes when you get in this office, now again, even if you're not ready to buy, they should lay this out for you. And that's our expectation, your expectation here is that they're going to lay out, here's what it costs to actually buy that vehicle. So there's no pressure to buy at that point. But the other thing they're going to mention is there are extra costs, and this is where some people feel like, oh, they tried to upsell me on stuff like that. So there's things like extended warranties and stuff like that that you should be aware of, especially if you're price conscious, because there's a cost to having that in there, but they can explain the coverage, they can explain those kind of things. So tell me a little bit about the extended warranties. Why do you guys even bring it up, to somebody who says, I just don't want, on the bare minimum?
Well, I'd love to say that this product will and always and every one of them will last forever, but
they're very reliable.
They are very reliable. My experience is it's built by man, man's going to break it, and man's going to fix it. So realistically, when it comes to extended warranties, this is simply a protection policy for you over time of the ownership of your vehicle. You're already making scheduled monthly, bi-weekly payments. The last thing you want to do is find yourself in a repair shop paying for something that could have been under warranty and could have been under control the whole time.
Now, the other thing that you have to deal with, if you get to the point, it's like, okay, so I understand what I'm doing. I'm going to buy, for instance, the motorcycle. I want this and that level of extended warranty because there's options within there. Then I get nervous about like what happens next. I got to get this thing licensed somehow. I got to figure out insurance and that kind of stuff. So tell me what you guys can do. I'll tell you what I did as well, but go ahead. What do you guys do to basically make it easy for me?
So our job is to make it easy for you, Peter.
Yeah, because I don't know what I'm doing at that point, but you guys do. You guys do it all the time.
Well, even Peter was new to New Brunswick, so there was a lot of things that were new to Peter that he was not sure of. And the one thing that we do hear a lot of, even local clients, is, so what is my next move at Service New Brunswick? What do I have to do for insurance? So we have already taken control of all of that information for you on your behalf. So we will ask you who your insurance agent is, local, far, whoever they may be, and we will forward all the proper documents, bills of sale, with serial numbers, with evaluations, and we are here for the insurance agent if they have any possible questions. So we do receive that sometimes.
So the one thing that I did, and this is sort of my advice to you, if you are new to motorcycling or you're getting a bike where you haven't continuously had a bike and you don't have current motorcycle insurance, especially with the motorcycles, make sure you reach out to your insurance agent on your own for your own sake, because I was looking at the Ninja 1000 and the Z900, which is a 950cc. There's very similar engine size in those, both 4 cylinders, both powerful bikes, but the insurance class is quite different in those two bikes. So that can also play into your overall cost, overall ownership factor. The sales guys here are going to be able to tell you about some of those types of things, but really it depends on you. So for me, I wanted to reach out to my insurance myself. I haven't had a bike for a few years. I'm buying one again. And I did some of that research myself, but they'll provide me with VIN numbers, with anything I need to know about that bike. They gave it all. So I was able to say, here's my insurance paper, and then we get it licensed and all that's done. Now there's only one other problem. It's February when we're filming this, and it's cold. I don't like riding in the cold, and I really don't like getting my brand new bike exposed to salt. So what am I going to do? How do I get this thing home?
Well, actually, once we have completed the insurance documentation and we have sent all the information over to Service New Brunswick on your behalf to get your new unit registered and licensed in your name, we can work towards delivery. So in our delivery process, we actually have a gorgeous big pickup truck.
Yeah,
it's all
nice.
wrapped up Kawasaki green with a gorgeous enclosed, we have multiple enclosed trailers depending on what we're delivering. So we will load up your motorcycle and professionally strap it down and bring it within a reasonable location around the dealership in this area. We will deliver it for free to your driveway.
Yeah, for free. From here to inside my garage. And again, for someone like me, I'm pretty particular about my stuff, knowing that they're going to take care of it, they're going to strap it down properly, knowing that it's not going to see any salt, even though I can get it home and I can sit there and drool on it every night. So
Right.
that all matters to me. So this is just kind of like an introductory video. Obviously, things here at Wheels and Deals, Jim Gilbert's Wheels and Deals, Jim Gilbert's Powersports, things are different. This is the #1 volume Kawasaki dealer in the country for a reason. And you guys are pretty new into this stuff. Like, you went from non-existent to #1 very, very quickly. And that really comes down to this whole idea of Canada's Huggable car dealer. These guys are absolutely incredible when it comes to dealing with customers. So your dealer may or may not be the same, but if you have questions about buying a motorcycle, buying power sports, buying those kind of things, or shopping here, let me know in the comment section the things you want to know, maybe things that we didn't cover, and we'll come back to you both in the comment section and in future videos to make sure that you get the information you need. And I guess if you're sitting home alone and you want to check out a pretty cool showroom, a pretty cool dealer, make sure you swing on down to Jim Gilbert's Wheels and Deals, Jim Gilbert's Powersports here in Fredericton, New Brunswick, because even in February, in 2023, we are loaded with inventory. There's lots of stuff to see. So thanks everybody for watching. We'll talk to you in the next one.